Pork steak. Let me tell you the best way to make a pork steak. If you're just going to cook it on the stove. Put you some oil in there. Get your oil good and hot. You know, you don't want it smoking or anything because then it's too hot. Sear it on both sides. Turn that flame down a little bit. Let it cook for a while. Then put your seasoning on there and flip it and season the other side. Then if you want, put you some barbecue sauce on it. But you got to sear a pork chop or pork steak on top. If you're cooking them on top of the stove, or they get really tough. Ooh, so that was good. I had to eat. Can you imagine? My son ate 2 of them last night. A whole can of green beans, a couple of potatoes. Yeah. Well, he's always been a healthy eater. I actually had trouble with him when he was first born. I thought for sure he had colic. Because, I mean, he was up every 2 hours screaming. And my mom said to me, that formula's not enough for him. Because one of my sisters had been colicky, and she said he's not colicky. That formula's not enough for him. So I started giving him a little bit of that baby cereal, you know, the dry stuff you mix with the formula. Wouldn't eat it. Wouldn't eat any of it. Tried all kinds of it. So I started giving him like a half spoonful of sweet potatoes or that vanilla pudding. Now, I'm not telling anybody you ought to be doing this, okay? My family's very old school from the country, so don't you do anything like that without talking to your doctor. Just a little bit we give it to him. And within about 3 or 4 days, he was sleeping almost completely through the night. Because I thought it was going to kill me. Just having a baby and having to get up every 2 hours for 2 or 3 days straight. My mother had to come to my rescue. So, but he's always had a healthy appetite. When he entered into 1st grade, I had to buy him husky clothes. Husky. I don't even know if you can get husky anymore. He wasn't fat. He was big boned. Big bone and solid. But, you know, I was the same way when I was a teenager, to tell you the truth. Not so much big boned, but I was a very healthy eater. Very healthy eater. I'd have family members say, "Are you really going to eat all that?" And I'd say, like, "Watch me." But I was very active. Very active. I mean, I'd get out in the woods and hike. We had parks, and they had natural springs in them, and falls, and mini falls, and I'd hike through them woods. I'd make me a couple bologna sandwiches and wrap me up some chips and grab a pop, and I'd go for the day. So, and when my kids got older, I would take them creek stomping, walking up the middle of a creek, seeing what we could see, and I'd pack a lunch then, too. And Prepper Dale mentioned something the other day. He said when he was younger, about 12, kids would go hunting. They'd go hunting before school. They'd go hunting after school, and they don't do it no more. Now, you got to be getting some exercise when you're out in the woods, all right? Kids just ain't getting the exercise that they need to be getting these days. It's like we're raising a generation of Oompa Loompas, all right? It's a sad thing. They're all sitting at home playing video games or on their cell phones when they need to be out in the woods or on a bike someplace and are playing some basketball with their friends. And I actually bought my kids a basketball hoop and put it up, and their friends would come over and play in the parking lot. Kids don't get the exercise that they need these days. And I would burn it off, all right? And it kept me healthy. There was a healthy balance there of getting enough food to keep your body healthy and burning off the calories and stuff so that you ain't putting on weight and fat. And I was very healthy. I used to love to get out in them woods. And it really is a sad thing today that most kids ain't. Now, my youngest son keeps my grandson out in the woods all the time. Out in the woods hiking, out in the woods fishing, away from... Now, there are some video games and stuff, but he don't let him sit in front and vegetate in front of a TV. He gets them out. He gets them outside. He don't care if it's the backyard and he sets them in a swimming pool. And that takes adults getting involved with their kids to start those healthy habits. And it is a sad thing that kids aren't enjoying the world, getting out in it, the way we did when we were kids. And we just went. As long as we were in, when the street lights came on, that was our signal. We better get home. So, but yeah, it blew my mind last night. He ate 2 of those. All right? I haven't even finished half of that. On top of all the other stuff he polished away. But he's good and solid. I'll tell you that much right now. But I'm glad I raised my kids that way. I'm glad I came up out of that myself. I'm glad my grandchildren are coming up out of that. My older grandchildren have been out shooting recently. I think it was recently. I seen some post of it. May not have been recently, but they were out shooting, and they were out in the woods and stuff. And more kids need to be that way. They really do. So y'all pack a lunch and go. If any of your young ones are hearing this video, y'all pack a lunch. You know, make you a couple sandwiches, a couple cans of pop, some chips, a banana or 2, and get your trusty old-timing knife, and get you some fishing line and a hook. And all you need to do is wrap that around a tin can. Find you a little something for bait. You can make bait. We used to make bait sometimes out of dough balls. And get out there and experience the world. There's plenty of time for sitting in front of the TV later when you're older. Trust me. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.